Hello, we're live.
What are we talking about?
We've
Double live.
We've literally, Julian's just setting his up. Hang on, we'll go further back.
Don't drop it off the edge.
So we literally have just spent like the last 15 minutes kind of semi-arguing about what we'll actually talk about in our live.
I think we should talk about comparing yourself to other people.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I think it's a topic that everyone struggles with.
Yes. Hey, Cam.
We've got
Hey,
double.
guys.
There's
Ryan.
two of me. Not only do I have 4 eyes usually, but now I've got 6. No, 4. 6.
8.
8.
You're not counting your own eyes. Oh my god. Okay, so you go comparing yourself to others.
Well, I suffer from it greatly. And that's why we should have an open discussion about it. No, I think that it is healthy to a point to set a target for yourself. Oh, you bump your phone.
Oh.
To set a target for yourself, if you aspire to be like someone, it's different to like comparing yourself to them. Because if you compare yourself directly to them, then you're putting them on a pedestal and you're pushing yourself into the ground. You're infatuating with them. But if you aspire to be like someone, I think it's slightly different in the sense that you use their force or what they have and what they're doing as motivation, not as like looking down upon you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I definitely think that's true. Okay, I compare my non-abs to your abs.
Oh, I still got the winter coat on, mate. We got a bit of work to do.
Don't we all?
What do you think, Sezzy, about who do you compare yourself to? Why? If so, if not, tell me all.
I feel like it is really hard because especially with like social media and stuff, it is hard to not compare yourself to others. But then I think we also get stuck in that there's no real like reality. Does that make sense? Like you're kind of stuck in this fake like Instagram world, but then when you have a look, like quite often we'll be like, oh, like, you know, it'll be good when we've got this and it'll be good when we've got that. But then also the other side of that is we'll actually have a conversation and be like, our life's pretty good. Like,
Well, I think now, this is maybe off topic, but we are in like a crazy budget and we spend 2 fists of fuck all each week, really, to have a good time. And from spending, I used to not budget very well many years ago, and I used to blow my whole paycheck every week pretty consistently. But now, say that's 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, whatever it is. And then now I spend $150 a week or whatever it is, and I'm probably tenfold happier because I've worked out that everything that I enjoy the most is free. Yeah. Generally, my top 3 things that I like to do the most don't cost anything. And so if you cut the pretentious bullshit out and focus on what you actually love, or find what you actually love, because most people don't have a fucking clue about what they actually love. If you cut all the bullshit, and if, say, you're budgeting, that might be a way to do it. You don't compare yourself to other people. You stop comparing yourself because you're sort of comparing yourself at, like Sarah said, in this Instagram world where you look at someone, and also when you see someone that you look on Instagram and you're like, fuck, they look ripped or they look good, they look crazy, and they might be local and you might meet them and you've infatuated them online and you're like, fuck, he doesn't look that good and he's a bit of a dick. Yeah. Then you're like, oh, and it just completely trumps you because you're like...
Yeah, they're actually a real person.
Yeah, A, they're a real person, and B, if you don't actually like them when you meet them and you've infatuated them online for so long, you meet them, you're just like, your bubbles burst and you're like, what the fuck happens now that I've looked at this person like this in this light, and you see them, they're a human, they have flaws, they have other things, they're not all perfect. And so it's a combination.
But they post that, you know.
Yeah, you see this lifestyle that's fucking magnificent, but you don't see the other side of it, sort of thing. So it's now in this world, you got to make a concise judgment between the two.
Yeah, and I think just have like some sense of reality of like what's actually going on in your life rather than the life that you put on Instagram or
Exactly.
What do you guys reckon?
Do you guys compare yourself to other people? I'm gonna
Ryan.
wave to everyone.
Sharon. Woohoo. Has there been like an instance, Julian, that you want to talk about?
Oh fuck! What did I do?
Oh no, we've had
there we go.
a technical difficulty.
Yeah, there is definitely a couple of instances. I'm not going to name names or anything, but no.
Name them, Julian. No.
It's a name and shame. No, a couple of people I've definitely had this ongoing infatuation with for a little while, maybe in a business sense or whatever sense. And I've put them on a pedestal for so long, and then I've met them, had dinner with them, and walked away and thought, fuck, this guy's a fuckhead. And I've just been like, holy shit, like, I want to be that. And then it's like, I've just started changing the way I do things due to the fact of what I think they're all about. And then I actually meet them, sit down with them, and was like, fuck. And then I've been trumped. That's when I've been trumped. I've sat back, I've come home, and I've just sat there thinking, it's like, you're seeing like a version of Superman, but then you see the other side of it, and you're just oh fuck.
Do you think that that's maybe also like from my own experience? It's more like because you haven't been honest with yourself about your own like what you actually want, and you like subscribe to what that person does, I guess, because you follow them and you're like, that's what I want, and then in that moment you're like, oh, this is actually not what I want.
Yeah, definitely. And then you subordinate to them, and also I hadn't worked out exactly what I truly wanted. I'm going to read Cam's thing. Particularly when you see other people getting results faster than you online, but you remember you have no idea. Yeah, that's 100% true. Yeah, I used to do that all the time. Now I'm like such a place where I'm just like chill with sort of whatever happens, and I know what I want. Like being Lewis's mastermind has been crazy because we've worked out our values, I've worked out like my mission statement. So I'm like got tears of gratitude writing that,
it's
knowing
clear,
I'm so fucking clear of what I want, but I'm still not in like a crazy rush, if that makes sense, because I'm like, I've got everything, I've just made a timeline, I'm slowly working towards that, but I don't give a shit what anyone else is doing now, whereas say a year ago, 2 years ago, I'd be like, what's that person doing, why are they doing quicker, why are they making more money, why are they doing this, why are they doing that, I still have a 9 to 5, they fucking quit their job. Whereas now I'm completely confident, I'm like, okay, this is the timeline of this is the things I have to get done, this is what I've got to do, this is what I'm going to do for my whole life. I've worked that out, and I'm just sort of working back and putting that in place. And
like you're in control.
Yeah, I'm in control. I've worked out what I actually like and what I actually love. Whereas a lot of people, I feel like when I talk to them, like, what do you love doing? They're just like, oh, I hate work. But I'm like, yeah, okay, then what are you going to do? They're just like,
Sounds like me.
I'm not sure.
Literally earlier this year, Julian's like, what do you like doing? And I was like, nothing. There's nothing. Like, it's so dramatic.
But now look at like from like this time last year to this time this year, we've done a complete 180 with like finance, careers, jobs, actually working out what the fuck we want to do rather than just going, hey, that looks good, this shiny ball, let's fucking do that.
Yeah, I like what you said there, Cam. Like, I feel like if you're not moving forward, that's when you start to like
when
obviously
you
feel stagnant.
But, there's Rhinos. I used to compare myself to others all the fucking time and trying to be someone that I wasn't. So I cut all the shit, and now I'm trying to be that 100%.
Just being the best version of yourself, rather than trying to compare yourself to somebody else.
Yeah, that's 100%. I think we were suffering from the same thing, Ryan. And when you are in a room of other people that are pushing upon you certain ideals and things that they think that you should have, then you start believing, oh, this is what I actually want. Whereas it could be not actually what you want. That's why we had to sort of step back and from what we were doing and look at like, okay, this is our life. What do we want to do? What are we spending our time doing? What do we actually value? And then that plus being like changing all our budget up. And then if you were saving like crazy and then you don't have, like, if you don't spend the same money on the fill-in shit that made you sort of happy, like drinking and going out and doing stuff, just sort of filling in the time, then you have to think back. Then you also have to think about what you actually want to fill your time with.
I'm reading between the lines, right? Yeah. What was I gonna say?
Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, totally.
Because it's very hard. You can get caught up. You get caught up in this tumbleweed that sort of picks up all the baggage on the way, and then when you sort of stop, you're just like, fuck, what was I doing for the last however long?
Or you get stuck, like, you know, growing up doing things because your parents want you to do them, and then you know, then doing things because, like, people at school want you to, you know, do that as a career, or like that seems like a good idea at the time, and then, you know, doing things because your friends are doing, you know, like, you kind of just spend your life in that cycle rather than actually
take ownership and actually spend the time to go, hey,
figure out what you actually want
what
to do.
do I actually fucking like doing?
Yeah.
Like, lucky for us, we didn't have parents that were like, you need to go to fucking do this, do that. Our parents are like pretty chill. They're just like, do whatever makes you happy, sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, my parents were definitely like, you will go to school, you will go to uni, and then you can do whatever the fuck you want. Like, that's literally what my parents said. So I think that they were just like be educated and then do whatever you want, which was true. Like, as soon as I left uni, they were just like, our job's done.
Yeah, and then, like, the personal growth along the way. Like, when I finished school, I hadn't started personal development for a few years after school, and I thought that was it. Finished school, got a job, and I was like, oh yeah, fuck, so this is it. This is the dream. But once you start discovering, like, personal development and start, like, reading, learning, doing more, working on yourself, finding out what you actually want to do, and growing, it's a never-ending journey. It's awesome. It's fucking awesome. So,
well, I think dinner could be burning.
What are we having?
Salmon.
Salmon. Or on the spring cut. I'm going to get the bod ready for summer.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Chat to you guys soon. Hope you have an awesome night.
Thanks for tuning in. Bye bye.